By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how fear is silently running your financial life. And the last thing I'm going to tell you, it's something most financial experts completely ignore. But it might be the only reason you keep making the same money mistakes over and over again. So sit back, grab a drink, and let's get into it. Here's something that will probably make you uncomfortable. You're not as rational about money as you think you are. In fact, nobody is. In the 1970s, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky set out to understand how humans make decisions under risk. What they found completely changed economics forever. Kahneman eventually won the Nobel Prize for this work. They discovered something devastating. Losses hit us twice as hard psychologically as equivalent gains. Twice as hard. Let that number sit for a second. Think about what this means for your wallet. Losing $100 feels like losing $200. Your brain doesn't just register the loss, it registers a crisis. This is why people hold on to losing investments way too long. The pain of selling feels like admitting defeat. So they wait and wait, hoping the loss will somehow reverse itself. I worked with a guy named Marcus who had a stock that dropped 60%. 60%. He told me he couldn't sell it. It would feel like throwing away money. But here's the thing, that loss was already real. Holding on to it wasn't protecting his money, it was just making sure he lost more. This phenomenon has a name. Economists call it loss aversion, and it is single-handedly responsible for more bad financial decisions than almost anything else. The research shows that investors are twice as likely to sell a winning stock too early, just to lock in the good feeling of a gain, but they'll hold a losing stock indefinitely to avoid the bad feeling of a loss. This isn't strategy. This is fear wearing a business suit. Now here's where it gets deeper. Beyond the fear of losing money, there's another fear that quietly destroys financial lives. It's the fear of missing out, the fear of being left behind. You see it every few years in the markets. A phenomenon sweeps through the culture. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's making money. The news won't stop covering it. In 2021, it was meme stocks and cryptocurrency. In 2017, it was initial coin offerings. In 2007, it was real estate. Every single time, regular people poured their savings into something they didn't understand. Not because they were greedy, because they were terrified. Terrified of watching their neighbors get rich while they stood still. Terrified of being the only person at the party who didn't get in. A 2022 study from the University of California found that investors who reported high fear of missing out were 3 times more likely to make impulsive investment decisions during market bubbles. 3 times. The same fear shows up in regular spending too. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. Your neighbor gets a new car. Your cousin posts pictures from vacation. And suddenly you need things you didn't need before. The thing is, you're not even aware it's happening. Fear of missing out doesn't feel like fear. It feels like ambition. It feels like keeping up. It feels like necessity. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I put out videos like this every week. And the last point is the one I really think you need to hear. All right, now for what I've been saving. There's a third layer of fear that nobody talks about. And this one is the most damaging of all. It happens when past financial trauma creates a permanent state of scarcity in your mind. Even after you're making good money, even after you have savings, the fear never turns off. Psychologist Eldar Shafir studied this phenomenon extensively. He found that financial scarcity actually reduces cognitive capacity. It's not about how smart you are. It's about how much brain power fear is stealing from you right now. When your mind is consumed with worry about money, you make worse decisions about money. You become more short-sighted, more reactive, more likely to make the exact mistakes that keep you scared. This creates a trap. Fear leads to bad decisions. Bad decisions lead to less money. Less money leads to more fear. And around it goes. I knew a woman named Denise who earned over $100,000 a year. She had a fully funded retirement account, emergency savings, no debt. By every objective measure, she was completely fine financially. But she couldn't stop worrying about money. She checked her accounts multiple times a day. She canceled plans because she was afraid of spending. She worked overtime constantly, chasing the next promotion. Her 20s and 30s were just a blur of financial anxiety. Denise grew up watching her mother lose everything during the 2008 recession. A foreclosure, a bankruptcy, years of hiding from creditors. That trauma got embedded in her nervous system, and it was running her life without her even knowing it. The research on this is striking. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people who experienced financial trauma in childhood showed heightened financial anxiety in adulthood, even when their current financial situations were secure. Even when everything was objectively fine. So here's the pattern. You have fear of losing money, which makes you hold on to investments you shouldn't. You have fear of missing out, which makes you buy things you can't afford. And you have deep scarcity fear from your past, which makes you unable to trust that you'll ever be okay. That one insight might explain more about your financial life than anything else you've ever heard. So, what do you actually do about this? You start by recognizing that these fears exist. They are normal. They are almost universal. They are not character flaws. Then you build systems that don't rely on your fear to make decisions. Automated savings so you never have to decide whether to be scared or responsible. Investment rules you follow automatically, no matter what the market is doing. Spending boundaries that exist before you see something you want. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. Fear is part of being human. The goal is to make sure your fear isn't the one signing the checks. So there you have it. 3 layers of fear controlling your money. Loss aversion, fear of missing out, and the deepest one, scarcity trauma from your past. Understanding this is the first step. But taking action is what changes everything. If this video made something click for you, share it with someone who's been struggling with money and subscribe. Because next week, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a financial system that works even when your brain is telling you to panic. See you then.